Hello everyone, today I'm gonna do a different kind of video. I wanna show you what Pokemon I have ready on my Pokemon home so you can make different teams, and I'm gonna show you the team that I'm actually gonna use on the first day of Pokemon Champions. Starting with the boxes, let's get here. Okay, so on the home 199 and 198 and 297, I have the Pokemon that I'm most likely gonna use on teams, the Pokemon that I have speculated to be good in one way or another, and we have the team that I'm gonna use also. Starting with Home 197, this is the Pokemon that I'm least likely to use. I believe Frostlass is gonna be good, but Snow is not that much of my style. I will use Snow at some point though. On 198, we have Pokemon that are good, but I'm not really looking forward to use them right now, but there is a high chance I might use them. I also have plans for Delphox, because I like using sand, and I have a Delphox sand team that I'm actually looking forward to. This is the main box, and this is the main team I'm gonna use. We'll dive into the team on the team builder in a second. The Pokemon that I'm most likely gonna use is everything in this box for the most part. I'm probably gonna use a Rain team at some point. I will for sure use this Sun team. I have the team that I've spoken about on the previous video that uses no Megas also ready, in case I can't afford to build this team because the Salamence is Mega in this team. And I have some extra options. Gengar is really good in Sand. I wanna explore Hippowdon a bit more, even though Tyranitar has been really nice. I wanna use Scizor, but I haven't found any good usage of Scizor yet, but I wanna get there. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. Clefairy is one of the best redirectors right now, next to Sinistcha and Volcarona, so it's nice to have one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it, but for now it stays here. Talonflame is a great Tailwind setter. Dragonite is really flexible. You can get the Tailwind, you can get Haze, you can do Extreme Speed, you have many different sets. So it's nice to have a Dragonite. Basculegion is nice in Rain. Altaria, because as we spoken about on the previous video, I have some hopes about Cloud9 Altaria. Escarda is really nice to have. It's a semi-counter to Dondozo, it's fast, hits hard, it's like Sneasler but feels different niches. And talking about Sneasler, as you know him, he's one of the best Pokemon to have. Hydreigon, I believe right now he's one of the best special attackers to have. You can use Scarf on him, you can use Leftovers, you can use Berries, you can use Life Orb, anything you want. He has many sets, he's quite flexible, he's really nice to have. We have Incineroar. I have low hopes for Incineroar because through testing I see a lot of clear body mons, a lot of clear amulets, a lot of defiant, a lot of competitive. So right now, in this point of the in quotes meta, I do not think Incineroar or any Intimidator for that part is that good, but it's nice to have an Incineroar. Weevil. Weevil is a Pokemon that kind of surprised me. I used it on a Rain team. It's pretty much this team without Whimsicott. It was running, I don't remember. We will see on the team builder. But it was a really nice team, and Weevil carried a lot of the matches. The triple axle hits a lot of stuff for super effective or neutral. It's a really nice late game cleaner. People are not ready for Weevil for the most part. On this box, we have the Pokemon that are promising, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna use right now. Gallade is nice for a Trick Room, and Gardevoir has seen some Trick Room play also, so I wanted to have them ready because I like Trick Room. There's a high chance you will see Trick Room in this channel. We have 3 different Rotoms here. They are also one of the best special attackers right now. Levitate carries them a lot. The moves they get are real nice. I believe most Rotom sets carry Scarf. That covers for the lack of speed they have. Delphox, as we said, I might use on a Sun team. We have an Ursaluna in case we run Trick Room. Blaziken is a Pokemon that I want to explore more. I haven't seen a lot of it, but I love this Pokemon. It's my favorite starter from Hoenn. So there's a high chance we will use this. Meganium is really nice in Rain, but really nice. I mean, it's not good like Basculegion, but it's playable. And if you want to use Meganium, I believe Rain is the best way to use it, unlike Sun, which it doesn't feel to have a place there because you have Pokemon like Venusaur. If you want a grass type, there is better special attackers. The CDUI. I've seen some success with the CDUI both in Assault Vest and offensive set. So I have him on the back of my mind. Right now, I have no teams with him, but I believe I've seen a guy in top 200 or something using the CDI into success. So we have him noted. Maushold, another Pokemon with follow me redirection. Super Fang, Encore, Helping Hand, anything you would from a support mon, he has it. Friend Guard, obviously. I do not think Maushold is in a pretty decent place in the meta right now because almost everything has close combat or some sort of fighting move coverage. But he's here, and if we need him, we have him. Scrafty has surprised me. Both the Mega version and the Assault Vest version has been really nice. I've seen Assault Vest Intimidate being used, and it was really nice, really effective. Intimidate wasn't that good because it was used against me, and I had a team with two different clear bodies, one mirror armor and one competitive, but still it managed to do a lot because it's way more tanky than it looks. It deals a decent chunk of damage. It's a really nice mid ground to have. Because with Incineroar, if you can't do Intimidate, your next best move is Parting Shot, and if you can't do Parting Shot either, he doesn't carry that much damage or utility. On the other hand, Scrafty, if you can't do Intimidate, you hit them, and he hits hard for what a Scrafty is. We have Glimora. Glimora is a Pokemon that doesn't feel explored as much, but in every scenario I've used it, it was effective. So I always have a Glimora on the back of the boxes because you never know. I have a Raichu because the Nuzzle Assault Vest set with Volt Suites and Fake Out has been really nice throughout some testing I did. There is also a Focus Shot set with Endeavor, which is also pretty nice. Lightning Rod is a nice move to have. It's good on base Raichu, it's not good enough to waste a Mega slot to make a Mega Raichu just for Lightning Rod. So it's a nice Pokemon to have. Zoroark, you've seen it be successful in tournament play. It's a weird Pokemon to use, but it's a good Pokemon. So I like having it on the back. I'm not gonna talk about Sun, everyone knows Sun, it's good. I have nothing to say, it's just Sun and it's good. Gliscor, I like the Choice Bond set. There's also the Toxic Orb set, but I haven't found that much usage for it because there is not much sleep in the meta and you can't be hit by Thunder Wave. So the only effect that you care to not hit you is Will-O-Wisp or Scald, I guess. But usually there is not that much Will-O-Wisp around. There is no Dusclops. There is not that many Will-O-Wisp Incineroar around. So the Choice Band set has been really nice for me. Sylvan is a Pokemon that I always underestimate, but it surprises me a lot whenever I see people use it. I like to have a Sylveon in case I want to use it. I don't know if it will come to it, but it doesn't hurt to have one. Vivillon is a Tailwind setter. I rarely use it, but it's good to have another Tailwind setter in case we need it. I went with the purple version just because I like purple. There's no difference between the versions of Vivillon. We have a Blastoise. We've seen Blastoise Bigman doing some really decent stuff. The salesman's next to Fake Out or next to screens has seen some play and some success. So I keep him on the back of the boxes in case we ever play something like that. We have both Arcanines. I've seen both of them either with Intimidate or with Rocky Head be used in the place of Incineroar, mostly because they can be a bit more offensive than Incineroar when he doesn't feel that great. I like Hisuian Arcanine a decent bit on this meta, because Head Smash or Rock Slide next to Flare Blitz or Extreme Speed is really nice to have. He can get an electric move. In general, he's pretty good to have. Alolan Ninetales. It's pretty good to have a Ninetales. You never know what team you might play with Snow or that might need Aurora Veil or anything like that, and you're not going to use Frostlass because you need the Megastone on something different. Obviously, I'm talking about a hypothetical team. I don't know what team could use Snow that wouldn't want Frostlass, but you never know. Sandelure. I want to use Mega Sandelure at some point. I'm waiting to see what kind of ability it gets. If it keeps Flash Fire, it's gonna be okay. If it gets Shadow Tag, it's gonna be broken, and I would like to use it. We have Grimmsnarl, Screensetter, as you know him. We have a Kangaskhan. Mega Kangaskhan right now doesn't feel that great, but I can see a universe where it's gonna be good, so it's nice to have it. We have a Slowking. Slowking is not confirmed to be in game, but both Cantonian Slowking and Slowbro is in game, and the Galarian Slowbro is in game, confirmed, so I assume Slowking will be in game, we just haven't seen it. I believe it's not a big leap. Empoleon is a Pokemon that I like to use, but it's really meta reliant. If you can get competitive, it's awesome. If you can't, it's just an Empoleon. Right now, I would use Empoleon to be honest, but most of my teams need the support of Milotic, and you will see a replay later that uses the Milotic in the full extent. But it's a really nice Pokemon to have. I believe you can build around Empoleon in metas where Incineroar, let's say, is really popular. It's a nice Pokemon to have. We have a Dondozo. I need to get another Tatsugiri, I believe the yellow Tatsugiri, in case I wanna run that kind of setup. But for now, we have these two Tatsus, Dondozo, we have a Bruxis because I am a Bruxis believer. I know that most people do not like it, but I like Dazzling, I like what Bruxis does, I like the Scarf set, I like the support set. It's a nice Pokemon to have. We have Frostlass in case we want to run Snow. As I said earlier, I'm not a big fan of Snow, but you never know. Como, it's a Pokemon that comes and goes throughout metas. If there is something to hit it with like a Moonblast, even from a Whimsicott, he dies. But he can be good, and I want to have him even though I might never use him. We have a Slowking, just a Trick Room Mon in case we ever need something extra. Because if you see here, we have Farid Giraffe, we have a Sinistra, we have our Trick Room setters, but it's never bad. Oh, we also have Gallade. It's never bad to have another one though, because you never know what kind of team you might end up playing. And we have a Greninja. Greninja is the Pokemon that I'm most disappointed in so far. It's one of my favorites, and that's why I have a sign of it. But throughout testing, it doesn't seem that great, especially against Snow. It seems to suffer a lot. It gets some coverage that can be good, like it gets extra sensory for Snizzlers, but it's so hard to navigate because it's so frail and it doesn't hit that hard, which is weird. Because he has a pretty decent special attack stat, he has good speed, but he's just not all that. If I want to use a fast attacker, there is Miascarada, there is Nizzler, and I have a Megastone to use on something else. But we will try to get there. Like, both Greninja and Scizor is two of the Pokemon I want to use the most, but I haven't found how yet. Going to the teams now. Currently, the top 5 teams here are the teams I'm most likely gonna use. I used to run Volcarona. It's the team that I showcased also. I changed Volcarona to Sinistra because so far I've found that all the follow me users are really weak to Snizzler. most Snizzlers right now started using Rock Slide for coverage, which is reasonable because you are also faster than Charizard, and you want to have something to hit Charizard, and usually that ends up being Snizzler. Snizzler covers Volcarona with Rock Slide, covers Mousehold with Close Combat, and if you don't run Protect or Coaching or Fake Out, you usually keep Dire Claw, and then Dire Claw hits Clefable. So I ended up using Sinistcha because it's one of the follow me users that usually Snizzlers do not have cover for, especially since Meowstic dropped in usage, most Snizzlers dropped Throat Chop. So it's a decent, I'm not gonna say good, like if there was a different follow me user, I would most likely change Sinistcha. But as we know right now, as the Pokemon that are available through any kind of leaks and stuff, I believe Sinistcha is the best follow me user. I was running Trick Room over Calmine, but I've realized that this team can play in Trick Room quite decently. So I felt okay to drop Trick Room, as I do not need to counter Trick Room in most cases, and I started using Calmine. You could use Nasty Plot, it's something that I'm currently exploring, but I've found Calmine to be okay in most cases because when you use Calmine, you become a bit more tankier in the special defense side, and usually that's what I use Sinistcha against. And she's already decently bulky in the defense side. We're running a bold with some defense investment, 143 is pretty decent. So it can take a hit, use a Matcha, you have strength up to make the physical attackers weaker. A lot of times, because people expect you to do a Rage Powder, or if it's open team sheet, they can expect Calm Mind. They use a physical attack to kinda put you down to 50% after Citrus, and they use Strength Up turn 1 instead of doing like a Rage Powder or something like that, which puts me back to full hit points and they're at -1, and suddenly they're in a weird spot. We're running, let's start with the team actually. Okay, now for the team, I'm using a Tyranitar, a Rock Slide knockoff, low kick, Ice Punch, Assault Vest obviously with a Sandstream. We're hit point invested with a decent chunk of attack because we want to pick up some KOs. There are some calcs that I do not remember from the top of my head, but there are many times where our Rock Slide hits exactly for 50%, which is exactly what we wanted with that attack investment. We're quite speedy, but still we can play under Trick Room. It doesn't feel that weird, and that level of speed makes us faster than, let's say, a Milotic or a Corviknight. Stuff that even if we do not KO, we can flinch, and it feels really nice, especially if we have a Tailwind. Okay, that was the wrong set. This is the right set. And our Tailwind setter is Salamence. We're using Dracometer Hyper Voice. I've used to use the hybrid set with double edge. It was decent into picking some chip, but I want another Pokemon that does not care about Intimidate. So we changed into a full special attacking Salamence. We are using some kind of defensive investment into hit point defense and special defense, because I've seen Salamence tank some stuff that it kinda shouldn't. It has 130 defense in the Mega Form and I believe 90 special defense. And it's pretty decently bulky, so adding just a little bit to it makes it a bit harder to deal with. And I like that for Salamence, especially if you consider that it's our Tailwind setter. We want it to be able to leave a hit, or maybe two. The set is pretty common. Dracometer, Hyper Voice, Tailwind, Protect. It's just the average special attacking set, but we do not need to reinvent the wheel. It's a really nice set to have. We're using Garchomp with Rock Slide, Stomping Tantrum, Dragon Claw, Protect. jolly nature, I want it to be as fast as possible. I wanted to be able to outspeed some of the megas, especially the greedy megas that are running adamant or modest or stuff like that. And we hit hard with life orb. We're not using earthquake anymore because I haven't found a really nice usage case for it. It's nice to spam earthquake next to Salamence or Corviknight or even Sinister because it takes like 0 damage from it. But the cases where you want to use a double earthquake are really niche. You have to face something like Incineroar next to Sneasler, or maybe into a Sun team that's not Charizard. I do not care that much. Rock Slide gives us some great coverage both into Charizard and into some Frostlass switchings that I've seen people try to do into Tyranitar. I like to be able to hit Volcarona also. We're using Dragon Claw to catch enemy Garchomps off guard because we're both jolly. We are running Life Orb, we are running Dragon Claw, we can KO enemy Garchomps. And it deals some decent damage into Salamence. We have our Corviknight. This is the star of the team. In my opinion, Corviknight is one of the top 10 Pokemon that's not Megas right now. I'm in love with whatever is going on with him. We're going leftovers bulk up Bruce, full recovery tanky and tanky EVs with 252 hit points defense and special defense. You will see a replay that I will have in this video, and Corviknight is the MVP, and in many games he's the MVP. We have a Milotic, both Corviknight with mirror armor and Milotic with competitive should scare Incineroars, but sometimes Incineroars are still in our games for some reason, and they both get crazy. Corviknight doesn't gain anything from Incineroar, but let's say a +1 defense Corviknight gets tickled by Incineroar and we deal some decent damage back to it or its partner. And Incineroar cannot touch us with either Intimidate, Parting Shot, or their kit. Flare Blitz does 20 to 23% into +1 Corviknight. Let's not even touch Throat Chop or Dark Lariat or whatever else I might use. Milotic, competitive, Rocky Helmet, defensive EVs. This Pokemon gets out of hand quite quickly if there is a way to get competitive going, either through Icy Wind or either through Intimidate. Any kind of defense drop, it doesn't matter. A +2 Scald hurts a lot. A +2 Icy Wind deals some decent chip damage while providing speed control. We have Haze for Dondozo because this team otherwise kinda suffers into Dojo. We have Sinistcha also for Dojo, but you cannot rely on Strength Sap because some Dojos are Clear Amulet. You cannot rely on Matchak Gotcha because whenever you use a Sinistcha it doesn't burn, whenever your opponent does, obviously does on the first tick. So we run Haze instead, with the Rocky Helmet and the defense EVs. We're here to even tank a hit to get that Haze off. And we have Life Dew. Life Dew is one of the most replaceable moves in this set. I rarely use it, but it's good to have in case. The case means if you want to Life Dew next to Corviknight who uses a bulk up for the turn and you do not want to end up, let's say, at 50% with a +1. It's decent to keep the Corviknight up, it's decent to keep the Sinistcha up, it's decent to keep the Tyranitar up, who also tanks a pretty decent amount of damage before he goes down. Feel free to experiment with Life Dew. I'm gonna keep it most likely for champions. I haven't found another move that I would like more. There is also the Coil set, which is a whole different bag in general. But I think this set fits the team way better than the Coil set. Sinistcha is an option, as I said earlier, that is here to redirect. It runs the Citrus Bulky set. We have Calm Mind, so we can be a bit more threatening. We could run Nasty Plot. I'm still trying to decide if I want Calm Mind or Nasty Plot on this set. I went with Calm Mind because it fits a bit better into what I want to do, which is be able to be bulky against stuff. Corviknight is bulky against anything physical. My Logic is a mid-ground, and Sinistcha can be the special wall. It has a pretty decent defense with the bolt nature and 1/6 base defense plus 28 points, and we have a pretty decent investment on special defense. Getting a Calm Mind extra on top of this can make it really tough to deal with, especially if we get a good strength up into a physical attacker. We become pretty much immortal. And while buffing our special defense with a Calm Mind, we buff our special attack, which makes us heal more with much of a gotcha. So it's nice to have. I'm still not fully convinced on Sinistcha, but I was not convinced with Volcarona at all. I was not convinced with Maushold. Basically, the biggest concern I found with the Rage Powder or Follow Me users is that they're weak to Sneasler. And Sinistcha is one of the Pokemon that I found to be less weak into Sneasler sets or any kind of meta threat right now. So we're sticking with it. So this is the team. I want to show you 2 replays also of this team being played. This is a game to show you how Corviknight plays more or less. It's from a previous version where I was running Volcarona instead of Sinistcha. But it doesn't matter because we're not bringing either in this game. Our opponent opens with Incineroar, we reflect it back with Mirror Armor. They open with Gengar and Incineroar. I believe in this team, as you see the preview, the Gengar is always Mega. There is nothing else to Mega and there is no reason to not Mega your Gengar. So looking at this field, my first thought is to chip the Gengar so it can be picked up by anything I have in the back. In this game I brought Mens, Corviknight, Tyranitar and I believe Garchomp. So even though I'm at -1, I go for the double edge. It was before I changed into Draco Meteor, because Draco Meteor even in this position would be so much better. They go for a fake out. In this round I double attack. I do not care what they do. I go for a double edge on the Gengar. If they flinch my Salamence, it's fine, I get a bulk up on the Corviknight. If they flinch the Corviknight, it's fine, I lose the bulk up, but I get the double edge on the Gengar. I also believe that whoever they fake out, they will attack the other target, so it doesn't matter, I will never get doubled up. And that's the case. I go for the double edge, I deal a decent chunk of damage. They go for the Shadow Ball, we take 56%, it's fine, and at this point I'm like, okay, we're hyper voicing, it doesn't matter what they do. We hyper voice and we bulk up. We either pick up a KO here and chip whatever is next to it and maybe die, or they go for a silly play like Protect into Flare Blitz into Corviknight or change the Incineroar altogether, and that's what they do, which is pretty passive of them, and we take great lead. Now we have a +1 Corviknight. We go for another Hyper Voice to get some chip. They go for a Super Fang. I was expecting them to KO the Salamence with, let's say, Population Bomb or something like that. But they did the Super Fang on Corviknight, which is kinda relevant. We are the right amount of EVs here. If you see, we're on 205, which means that Super Fang does 49% and we're at 51. So we're not that mad about it, but it's still something I wasn't expecting. We pick up the KO on the Maushold and they get a free switch in, which I did not enjoy. Okay, they go into Primarina. We go for a Tailwind to use Roost to be at full hit points, whatever bullshit they try to do. They go for a Flare Blitz. 29% is nothing, it just bounces off pretty much. They pick up the KO on Salamence, which did way more than it should in this game. We go for the Garchomp. At this point, I expect my opponent to attack the Garchomp with Primarina, throw a Moonblast or something like that. And we hit Primarina with Brave Bird, get it to 50%, and next turn we can pick up the KO because we have the Tailwind advantage. And they go for that, but they are Citrus Berry, so that kinda throws me off. I was okay with going Moonblast into Protect, into another Moonblast into Tyranitar. And that's what I'm doing either way, but here I decide to get a bulk up because I'm not KOing at +1 the Primarina. They go for another Flare Blitz, deals nothing. They go for the Moonblast on Tyranitar, which is undershant with AV. They are not specs or any kind of item that could increase their damage, so we take pretty much nothing. And now we have a +2 Corviknight on the field. We go for the knockoff because I thought, looking at the field, my opponent would switch the Primarina. Their Primarina is pretty much their win con. They know we have a Garchomp. They know that Tyranitar is in this game. They should preserve the Primarina. So go for a Roost expecting for a switch and the knockoff for whatever would replace the Primarina, like most likely the Gengar. But they stay in. I get my Roost, which is awesome. They go into Gengar with a U-turn, which is pretty questionable. And they go for a Hyper Voice, not a Moonblast. As you see, this is kind of a done deal, because our Tailwind goes off, and at this point I expect the Primarina to be faster than Tyranitar, even though we're speed invested. They go for a Shadow Ball on the Corviknight, which was a really bad play from their side. They should pick up the Tyranitar. But I guess they expected me to be slower also. And I double up into the Gengar. Tyranitar is knockoff on the Gengar. Corviknight is Brave Bird into the Gengar. Like, no matter what, I want the Gengar out of this game because it's faster than everything. I can pick up the Primarina at 38% even with Garchomp. So I'm faster than the Primarina apparently. So we get the knockoff and they go for another Hyper Voice. They pick up Tyranitar, we leave this because we're invested. We get the Brave Bird out, Corviknight dies, and now we get into the most easy 1v1 of our life. Garchomp versus Incineroar. We protect the Fake Out just to prevent the chip and get them chipped with the Sandstorm. They're at 50%. We go for a stopping Tantrum with Life Orb, doesn't matter. Okay, that's an easy game. This game also, when I was running Volcarona, and this is when I started considering Sinistcha, because I wanted to counter Trick Room, but apparently counter Trick Rooming doesn't matter because we played decently into Trick Room in general. You will see it in this game, and I had other games against Trick Room while having Sinistcha, and it didn't matter. Here they go Incineroar, Fire Giraffe. Always, whenever you see Incineroar, you lead with either Milotic or Corviknight. In this scenario, I was afraid that they would open with Torkoal, or at least bring Torkoal after one of them dies. So I preferred Milotic over the Corviknight because I do not want to die to a random eruption. And that was the case, kinda. We get the competitive with Incineroar. We hit them with a Scald. We switch the Salamence because in this point I assumed they would try to fake out the Salamence because I could deal some decent damage into Fire Giraffe. And they did. And now go into Corviknight. We get the Scald into Incineroar. The crit hardly matters. It only matters if they're AV. And I do not know if they are, so I can't tell you. They go into Torkoal, we switch out the Corviknight because we do not want to die. And we change the weather from Sun back to Sandstorm. We're AV, we're under Sandstorm, we have a water Pokemon here. This eruption bounces off. Look at those damage, 11%, 19%, doesn't matter. Hyper Voice, 7%, 21%. We hit the Torkoal with a Scald, dies. Doesn't matter, +2, hello. Thanks for the boost. They go into Gardevoir. In this point, I expected the Gardevoir to protect, I'm not gonna lie. We have a +2 Milotic and a Tyranitar in the field. It's the most obvious double up ever. My opponent, I guess, called it. And we do a split. I wanted to deal some damage with Milotic if the Gardevoir never protected, which it didn't. And I went for a knockoff into Fire Giraffe just to get some decent chip into it. In this round, we see that the Gardevoir is faster than Tyranitar, even though we're speed invested. So the Corviknight picks up the KO on Fire Giraffe, really easy, and we go for a knockoff into Gardevoir, really easy. There we go. So this is the team. The Pokepastes will be on the description. But I want to show you one last thing. It's a funny replay, let's say. So, we have this opponent. As you can see here, we have two options. They have either Mega Gengar or Mega Charizard. They have Snizzler Follow Me, they have King Gambit Follow Me, they have Garchomp Follow Me. This looks threatening. I start the game with Primarina because in my mind, if they start with anything that's not Gengar, we are in a pretty good spot, and even if they started with Gengar, we have the Volcarona next to it to kinda kill the Gengar. And this is a surprise Primarina set. It's not your average Primarina throat spray set. It's choice picks. So I was ready if I saw, let's say, Garchomp to do a Dazzling Gleam, if I saw the Charizard to do choice picks Hyper Voice, if it was Snizzler, I could try to Moonblast or Hydro Cannon for a pretty decent chunk of damage, or even just Hyper Voice it. So it was the idea of soften everything and then we will see what we will do. But they start with Maushold King Gambit, and I look on the side of my screen on Shodex, and it tells me Hydro Cannon with choice specs and 188 special attack. One hits KO King Gambit every time. And I'm like, you know what? This could be a funny thing to do. Maybe Maushold doesn't follow me, but he does. So we go for a Tailwind to be faster than anything they try to do. We hit the Hydro Cannon into the Maushold. It dies, obviously. They go into Snizzler, and I Rage Powder because I saw a Dire Claw coming into Primarina, and I'm like, okay, if they go for a Katao and Dire Claw, we should be able to leave one of the hits, most likely, because we have some HP in defense investment, and maybe get a Flame Body on either of them. But they go for a different play. They expect me to attack with Volcarona, most likely to hit a fire move on the King Gambit, which I do not. I want to Rage Powder to protect the Primarina on the recharge turn. They go for a Dire Claw, and they try the same strat again. They go for a Sucker Punch into Dire Claw, trying to catch the Primarina, and the Snizzler gets burned. Hydro Cannon picks up the KO on the King Gambit, and I'm ecstatic. Like, at this point, I've left my keyboard, I'm standing up and I'm cheering, and I'm like, okay, whatever happens from now on, I do not care. Let me lose, it's fine. I did what I wanted to do. Like, this is a testing ladder. I do not care about my points. I tested and I succeeded. I'm fine, thank you, let me go. But the Snizzler is burned, we get the Tyranitar, and they go into Charizard, and we have Tailwind. So I click the most obvious Rock Slide of my life as they go into Mega Charizard, and it's Y, so we do not care. We get the KO, we deal some damage into Snizzler, sadly they do not get flinched. They get the KO on the Tyranitar, we recharge, and now it's a 2v1. In this point, I'm like, okay, let's fully commit into the beat. Nothing can go wrong, in the sense that if they KO the Primarina, let's say they go for a Dire Claw and they pick up the KO, which I'm not sure if they can, but maybe they go for a Dire Claw and they get the sleep on a Primarina. I'm fine. If they get the Paralyze and I go into full Paralyze mode into Primarina, I'm fine. If they try to pick up the KO on Excadrill, it's gonna be an issue, because I am Focus Sash and I want to have a failsafe. In this scenario, if he attacks Excadrill and I miss, let's say, my Stomping Tantrum or something, it could be weird. So I go for the 100% win by protecting the Excadrill so I can 1v1 it in the worst case scenario ever. And I hit the Hydro Cannon, obviously, and I kill it. And at this point, I realized that in the whole game, I pressed Hydro Cannon 3 times, got 3 KOs, and a random Rock Slide from a Tyranitar picking up the Charizard. This is one of the most funny games I've played, because it's the most brain-dead game ever. It's like both of us have CTE for this game, and that was fine. We just vibed it. Anyway, these are the teams. I will put both of these teams on the description below. This team in general is pretty hard to pilot, but it's really fun. Obviously, Hydro Cannon is a really fun move to have. The Gengar set is really nice. I like this bulky Gengar. You can test it out. You can change the Calmine into Trick Room. I changed both of my Sinistras into Calmine because I believe both of these teams can play into Trick Room. We have Taunt here. We have some Pokemon that are K in Trick Room. Should be fine in general. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope it was fun for you. Making those type of essay style videos is not my style. I'm more of a plain React kind of person. Showing my preparation is fun. I hope at least one of you out there learns something or gets prepared better or anything. If I help one person out there, it's gonna be fun. Anyway, can't wait for the release of Pokemon Champions. I don't know if I will post another video until the release, but on the release expect a lot of gameplay footage and commentary and teams that I will show you. So see you next time.